Donald Trump has presided over 3 separate government shutdowns as president, which ties a record that was set by Ronald Reagan back in the 1980s. Here's a look back at all 3 shutdowns that happened under Reagan. The first occurred in 1981, from November the 20th to the 23rd. Reagan wanted $8.4 billion in domestic budget cuts, but the Democratic-controlled House demanded any cuts on the domestic front come with some cuts in defense spending, and they also wanted pay raises for Congress and senior civil servants. The compromise bill between the House and the Republican Senate only had about $2 billion in cuts, so Reagan vetoed it. Eventually, the 2 sides reached an agreement to extend the budget deadline to December the 15th, at which point Reagan and Congress agreed to $4 billion in budget cuts, about half of what he initially called for, in a stopgap bill to fund the government through March 31st of 1982. The second shutdown occurred in 1984 on October the 4th. The Democratic House wanted to link the budget to a crime-fighting package that Reagan supported and a water projects package that he opposed. Meanwhile, the Senate wanted civil rights legislation to reverse a Supreme Court ruling that said Title IX sex discrimination enforcement applies to private schools that admit students receiving federal funding. And other senators were fighting for a ban on funding for covert operations in Nicaragua, where the US government was backing the far-right Contras against the left-wing Sandinista National Liberation Front regime that ran the country at the time. 500,000 employees were placed on furlough that afternoon, but just a few hours later, Congress removed the water projects, civil rights legislation, and covert funding ban from the bill, and Reagan signed it. The third shutdown occurred in 1986 on October the 17th. Like the shutdown in 1984, this one only lasted a few hours. House Democrats wanted to expand welfare programs, while Reagan and the Republicans wanted to begin privatizing the Consolidated Rail Corporation, or Conrail, which was a railroad that operated in the Midwest and Northeast. Reagan also rejected anything that wasn't a long-term funding bill after going back on a threat to do just that just 5 days earlier, when he signed a bill to temporarily extend the initial deadline. Eventually, the Dems caved on everything, dropping the welfare expansion and accepting the sale of Conrail with an agreement to hold a vote in the future on the welfare programs.